The Hopi prophecies are a series of predictions passed down through generations within the Hopi tribe, a Native American people indigenous to the southwestern United States. These prophecies reflect a deep connection between the Hopi and the earth, with teachings that emphasize harmony, respect for nature, and the sacred balance that humans must maintain with the environment. Over centuries, the Hopi have warned of a time when the world would reach a tipping point, a period of great change or destruction if humanity strayed too far from the path of righteousness. In 2024, many believe we are witnessing the culmination of these ancient predictions. For the Hopi, signs of these changes have been anticipated for generations. Central to their belief system is the understanding that the world has gone through multiple cycles, or worlds, with the present world being the fourth. In Hopi tradition, the end of a world is marked by great turmoil, upheavals, and transformations that pave the way for the birth of a new world. Each world before this one has ended in disaster, brought about by human greed, arrogance, and a loss of spiritual harmony. One of the most famous parts of the Hopi prophecy involves a series of signs that would signal the end of the fourth world and the beginning of the fifth. These signs have been interpreted by many to align with global events such as environmental degradation, social unrest, and technological advancements. The first of these signs was said to be the arrival of white men with guns, which the Hopi believe represents the colonization of their lands by Europeans. Other signs include the construction of long roads, interpreted as highways, the spread of the iron horse, trains, and the building of a great web, often associated with the rise of telecommunications and the internet. Many are looking to the final sign, which has long been interpreted as the appearance of a celestial event or a spiritual awakening. According to the prophecies, a Blue Star Kachina will make its appearance in the heavens. This will be the moment when the Hopi believe the world will undergo its final transformation. The Blue Star Kachina, a sacred figure in Hopi cosmology, represents both a harbinger of destruction and the potential for renewal. For the Hopi, the appearance of the Blue Star is not just a physical event, but a spiritual awakening, a call for humanity to return to a more harmonious and balanced way of living. The Hopi elders have warned that when the Blue Star Kachina dances in the plaza, the time of great purification will begin. This will be a time when the earth cleanses itself through natural disasters, social upheaval, and widespread change. For those who have strayed too far from the path of harmony, it will be a time of great suffering. But for those who have lived in balance with the earth and followed the spiritual teachings, it will be a time of renewal and a return to a more sacred way of life. Many contemporary interpretations of the Hopi prophecies suggest that the current state of the world, with its political instability, climate crises, and technological advancements, mirrors the conditions described by the Hopi elders. The environmental degradation we see today, deforestation, pollution, and the warming of the planet, is viewed as a direct consequence of humanity's disconnection from the earth. According to the Hopi, if we continue on this path, we will face a period of purification where the earth will respond to the damage that has been done to it. The prophecies also speak of a time when the Hopi people themselves would face challenges to their way of life. With modern society encroaching on their lands and traditions, the Hopi have long struggled to maintain their cultural heritage. But the prophecies are not only about doom and destruction, they offer a message of hope. The Hopi believe that humanity can still change its course. The final prophecy is a warning, but also a call to action. It invites people to return to a life of balance, to honor the earth, and to live in harmony with all living beings. As 2024 progresses, many are watching the skies for the appearance of the Blue Star Kachina, believing that this celestial sign will mark the beginning of a new era. For the Hopi, it is not simply an event to be feared, but a moment of great spiritual significance. The prophecies remind us that we are all connected, that our actions have consequences, and that it is never too late to return to a life of balance and respect for the earth. The Hopi prophecies about the fate of the world offer a profound and timely message. They speak to the dangers of losing touch with the natural world, the importance of maintaining spiritual harmony, and the need for humanity to come together in the face of global challenges. As we approach the potential realization of these ancient warnings, the question remains, will we heed the call to change, or will we continue on a path that leads to destruction? The Hopi believe the choice is ours to make, and the future of the world depends on it. As we look deeper into the Hopi prophecies, it becomes clear that they are not simply a prediction of external events, but a reflection of inner spiritual transformation. The Hopi have long emphasized that the true changes must come from within humanity itself. The prophecies are not meant to induce fear, but rather to inspire a return to spiritual practices that honor life, community, and the earth. According to the Hopi, the path forward is not only about avoiding destruction, but also about cultivating a new relationship with the world, one that is rooted in love, compassion, and mutual respect. In the final chapters of these prophecies, the Hopi speak of a great decision that will face all people. The world will be split into two distinct paths. One path is a road of materialism, greed, and technological dominance. This path leads to further destruction and suffering as humanity continues to exploit the Earth's resources without regard for the consequences. The second path, however, is a spiritual road, a way of life that honors the sacred, seeks balance, and embraces simplicity. The Hopi elders have long warned that this moment of decision will determine the fate of the planet. The spiritual path, they say, is not about renouncing modern life or technology, but about using these tools wisely and in harmony with the natural world. In Hopi teachings, everything is interconnected, and every action has a ripple effect across the entire web of life. If humanity can remember this interconnectedness, there is still hope. The Hopi prophecies tell us that it is not too late to turn away from destruction, but time is running out. The final sign, the Blue Star Kachina, signals that the moment of choice has arrived. There are many who believe that this celestial sign is already upon us. Some point to astronomical events, such as the appearance of unusual stars, comets, or planetary alignments, as evidence that the Blue Star Kachina is manifesting in our time. Others interpret the sign more metaphorically, suggesting that the star represents a great spiritual awakening that is beginning to spread across the world. As more people awaken to the need for environmental stewardship, social justice, and spiritual renewal, they see this as the fulfillment of the Hopi vision. In this period of transition, the Hopi also speak of a purification process that will occur on both a physical and spiritual level. This purification may take many forms: natural disasters such as earthquakes, floods, and storms, as well as human-made crises like wars, famines, and economic collapse. These events are not seen as punishments, but as necessary purging of the imbalance that has accumulated over centuries. For those who have lived in harmony with the earth and adhered to spiritual principles, this time will be a test of endurance and faith. But for those who have ignored the warnings, it may be a time of great suffering. The key to surviving this period, according to the Hopi, lies in returning to the ancient ways of living in balance with the natural world. This means respecting the earth as a living being, cultivating humility, and living in a way that sustains not only ourselves but future generations. The Hopi prophecies suggest that small communities that live close to the land and practice spiritual mindfulness will be the most resilient during this time of change. These communities will serve as beacons of hope, showing the rest of the world that there is an alternative to the destructive path we have been on. As the purification intensifies, the Hopi believe that those who are spiritually aligned will receive guidance from higher powers. This guidance may come in the form of dreams, visions, or intuitive insights, leading people to safety and helping them navigate the challenges ahead. The Hopi teachings emphasize the importance of prayer, meditation, and ceremony during this time. By maintaining a strong spiritual connection, individuals can align themselves with the forces of nature and receive the wisdom they need to survive and thrive in the new world that is emerging. The final transformation, according to the Hopi, will be the rebirth of the earth. After the purification, the world will enter a period of renewal where the old ways of exploitation and imbalance are left behind. This new world, often referred to as the fifth world in Hopi tradition, will be a place where humanity lives in harmony with the earth and with each other. The Hopi envision a future where technology and spirituality coexist, where people use their knowledge and skills to enhance life rather than destroy it. This vision of the fifth world is one of hope, peace, and spiritual fulfillment. The Hopi are clear that this future is not guaranteed. It depends on the choices that humanity makes in the present moment. The prophecy is not set in stone. It is a living document that evolves as we evolve. The Hopi elders have repeatedly said that we are the ones we have been waiting for, that it is up to us to make the changes necessary to bring about this new world. The prophecy serves as both a warning and a guide, reminding us that the power to shape the future is in our hands. As we move through 2024 and beyond, the Hopi teachings offer a profound reminder of our collective responsibility to care for the earth and each other. The signs are all around us, and the time for action is now. Whether the final sign has already appeared or is yet to come, the message of the Hopi prophecies remains clear. We are at a crossroads, and the fate of the world depends on the choices we make. Will we continue down the path of destruction, or will we choose to walk the spiritual road that leads to renewal and harmony? As the final sign looms, the teachings of the Hopi come into sharper focus, urging humanity to make the most critical decision it has ever faced. The elders tell us that the path forward is not just an external one, but a journey within, a path of spiritual awakening, where each individual must reconnect with the deeper truths of existence. The Hopi speak of the heart as the central place where this transformation begins. They remind us that in order to navigate the trials of the time of purification, we must first purify ourselves. The pollution in the outer world is a reflection of the pollution within, and it is through self-reflection, prayer, and inner work that we begin to heal the rift between humanity and the earth. The purification process, they say, is not about punishment, but about realignment. It is a necessary phase for the earth to cleanse itself of the negative energies that have accumulated through centuries of imbalance. The Hopi prophecies point to the increasing intensity of natural disasters as part of this process. Storms, fires, and floods are seen as the earth's way of restoring balance. But this time of great upheaval is also a mirror for our inner world. Just as the earth must shake off its burdens, so too must humanity shed its attachments to materialism, greed, and separation from the sacred. The Hopi prophecies suggest that those who embrace the spiritual path, who choose to live in harmony with the earth and with each other, will find themselves protected during this time of upheaval. This is not to say that they will be spared all challenges, but they will receive guidance and strength from the spiritual realms. The Hopi speak of a time when the old ways of knowledge will return, when wisdom long buried will resurface to guide humanity through the darkness. Those who listen, who remain attuned to the messages of the earth and the ancestors, will find their way through. As the world moves further into this critical period, the Hopi elders emphasize the importance of community. In the old ways, people lived in small, close-knit groups that supported one another through times of hardship. The Hopi believe that this model will once again be essential for survival in the coming years. As the structures of modern society begin to falter, it will be the communities that return to the principles of cooperation, sharing, and mutual support that will thrive. The elders say that people must come together, not in fear, but in love and solidarity, creating sanctuaries of peace amidst the chaos. Ceremony, too, will play a vital role during this time. The Hopi believe that through prayer, meditation, and ritual, people can connect with the spiritual forces that guide the world. These ceremonies are not merely symbolic. They are acts of real power, capable of influencing the energies around us. The Hopi have long practiced ceremonies that honor the cycles of the earth, the movements of the stars, and the sacredness of life. As the final sign arrives, they call on all people, regardless of background or belief, to join in these practices, to offer their prayers for the healing of the planet and for the awakening of humanity. The prophecies also speak to the role of the youth. The Hopi have often said that the younger generations will be the ones to lead the way through this time of change. While the elders carry the wisdom of the past, it is the youth who will have the strength, creativity, and vision to build the future. The Hopi prophecies suggest that there will be a great awakening among young people, as they begin to see through the illusions of the modern world and seek a deeper connection to their true purpose. Many of these young souls, the Hopi say, are returning from the spirit world, reborn at this crucial time to help usher in the new world. As we move closer to the culmination of the Hopi prophecies, there is also a recognition of the interconnectedness of all spiritual traditions. The Hopi do not see their teachings as the only truth, but as part of a larger, universal message that is being revealed across cultures and faiths. In many traditions around the world, there are similar prophecies of a great purification, a time of reckoning that will be followed by a new era of peace and harmony. The Hopi see themselves as the keepers of this ancient wisdom, but they acknowledge that it is a message meant for all of humanity. The elders have long said that the time has come for these teachings to be shared with the world as the final sign draws near. In this way, the Hopi prophecies serve as both a warning and an invitation. They warn of the consequences of continuing on a path of destruction, but they also invite humanity to return to the sacred, to remember its place within the web of life. The Hopi do not claim that the future is set in stone. Rather, they believe that we have the power to influence the outcome through our choices and actions. The appearance of the Blue Star Kachina marks a turning point, but what happens next is up to us. As we stand on the threshold of the fifth world, the question before us is simple but profound. Will we continue to live in a way that harms the earth and ourselves, or will we embrace the teachings of the ancestors and live in harmony with all of creation? The Hopi believe that the answer lies within each of us, that we all have a role to play in the great unfolding of this prophecy. Whether we are inspired by the Hopi traditions, by other spiritual paths, or simply by our own sense of what is right, the call to action is clear. The time of waiting is over. The signs have been revealed. The final prophecy is unfolding before our eyes. Now is the moment to act, to change, to remember who we truly are. The Hopi have shown us the way, but it is up to us to walk the path. If we do, they say, the future can be one of peace, balance, and renewal. If we do not, the consequences will be felt by all of creation. The choice is ours, and the time is now. As the prophecy unfolds and the time for decision draws ever closer, the world itself seems to be holding its breath. The signs described by the Hopi, both physical and spiritual, are appearing with greater intensity, and many are beginning to sense that a profound shift is upon us. Yet with this shift comes both fear and hope, as humanity faces the consequences of centuries of imbalance and the opportunity for renewal. The Hopi elders speak not of the end of all things, but of the end of a cycle, a time of purification and transformation that will give birth to something new. The purification that is foretold is not only a matter of global events, but a process that touches each individual deeply. According to Hopi tradition, the great change will be felt in the hearts and minds of all people. Those who resist the call for change, who cling to the ways of greed, division, and materialism, will find themselves struggling as the old structures of society begin to break down. But for those who are ready to open their hearts and align with the earth, there is great potential for growth and healing. The Hopi speak of this time as one of revelation, where the truth that has been hidden for so long will be revealed to all. The illusions of the modern world, built on endless consumption and exploitation, will be stripped away, and people will be forced to confront the reality of their actions. This is a difficult process, the elders say, but a necessary one. It is only by facing the truth, however painful, that humanity can find the path to healing. The purification is not a punishment, but a cleansing, a way for the earth and its people to return to balance. As the purification continues, those who have lived in harmony with the natural world will find themselves drawn to places of refuge. The Hopi elders have long said that there will be safe places during this time, communities and lands where the spiritual energy remains strong and where people have lived in accordance with the sacred laws of the earth. These places, known as centers of light in many traditions, will be sanctuaries where the old ways of living in balance are preserved. The Hopi believe that those who gather in these places will be able to help guide the rest of humanity through the darkness, serving as beacons of hope and wisdom. The elders also emphasize the importance of simplicity during this time. The purification is not about accumulating wealth or status, but about returning to the essentials of life: food, water, shelter, and, most importantly, spiritual connection. The Hopi have always lived a simple, humble life, close to the earth, and they believe that this way of living will be the key to surviving the changes ahead. Those who cling to the excesses of the modern world, the elders say, will find themselves lost as those systems begin to collapse. But those who live simply, in gratitude and respect for the gifts of the earth, will find their way. Another important aspect of the Hopi prophecy is the role of women during this time of change. In Hopi culture, women are seen as the carriers of life, the nurturers of the earth, and the keepers of spiritual wisdom. The elders have long said that it will be the women who lead the way in the time of purification, as they hold the power to restore balance to the world. The feminine energy, often associated with the earth itself, is rising, and the Hopi believe that the future will be shaped by those who honor this sacred power. Women are being called to step into their roles as leaders, healers, and guides during this critical time. The Hopi also speak of the importance of reconnecting with the ancestors. In their teachings, the ancestors are not merely figures of the past, but are still present, watching over and guiding humanity through these changes. The veil between the worlds is thinning, and the wisdom of the ancestors is becoming more accessible to those who are open to receiving it. The Hopi encourage people to seek guidance from their own ancestral traditions, to honor the spirits of those who have come before, and to listen to the messages they bring. This ancestral wisdom, they say, will be crucial in navigating the challenges of the coming years. As the final prophecy unfolds, the Hopi remind us that the earth herself is a living being, with her own consciousness and wisdom. The earth is not a resource to be exploited, but a mother who provides for all her children. The Hopi have always lived in deep connection with the earth, understanding that she will provide everything we need if we live in harmony with her. The time of purification is, in many ways, the earth's way of restoring balance after centuries of harm. But the earth is also compassionate, and she is calling out to humanity to heal their relationship with her before it is too late. The Blue Star Kachina, often interpreted as a celestial event, also represents the awakening of a new consciousness. In Hopi tradition, the Kachinas are spiritual beings who serve as messengers between the human world and the spiritual realms. The appearance of the Blue Star Kachina is a sign that the time of great change is upon us, but it is also a reminder that we are never alone. The spiritual realms are watching over us, and they are ready to assist humanity in this time of transformation if we are willing to listen. The Hopi believe that those who are attuned to this spiritual guidance will find themselves led to safety and will play a key role in helping to birth the new world. As we stand on the edge of this great transformation, the Hopi prophecies offer us a roadmap. They show us the path of destruction, but also the path of renewal. The choice, they say, is not an easy one, but it is clear. We can continue to live in a way that brings harm to the earth and to each other, or we can return to the sacred ways of living in balance and harmony. The elders have said that this is the most important moment in human history, a time when the actions of each individual can tip the scales toward either destruction or renewal. The Hopi remind us that while the signs are all around us, the future is still unwritten. The prophecies are not a guarantee of doom, but a call to action. They are a warning, yes, but also a message of hope. The final sign may have arrived, but it is up to us to determine what comes next. If we heed the teachings of the Hopi and return to a way of life that honors the earth and all living beings, we can help to bring about the birth of the fifth world, a world of peace, balance, and spiritual awakening. As the prophecy comes to its climax, the Hopi elders offer one final message. We are the ones we have been waiting for. The power to shape the future lies within each of us. If we embrace the spiritual path, if we live in harmony with the earth, and if we come together in community and love, the time of great change can be a time of rebirth. The choice is ours and the time is now. The Hopi have shown us the way forward. The rest is up to us. As the Hopi elders remind us, the moment of decision is here. The signs in the sky and on the earth are not just warnings, but calls to awaken to a new understanding of life. An understanding that places respect for nature, for the ancestors, and for the spiritual laws of the universe at the center of our existence. The time of waiting is over. We can no longer rely on old ways of thinking that separate us from the natural world and from one another. The earth has been patient, but now she is speaking louder, urging us to listen before it's too late. The Hopi have long spoken of two paths, one of destruction and one of spiritual renewal. The path of destruction is the road of those who ignore the signs, who continue to live as though the resources of the earth are infinite, and as though human actions have no consequences. This path leads to further suffering, isolation, and ultimately, the collapse of civilizations. On the other hand, the path of spiritual renewal requires a profound shift in consciousness. It asks that we stop seeing the earth as a resource to be used and instead recognize her as a living being with whom we are in relationship. This path calls for humility, for an acknowledgement that humanity is not the master of creation, but a part of it. The Hopi prophecies say that those who walk this path will be supported by spiritual forces, by the ancestors, and by the earth herself. They will find ways to live in harmony, even in the midst of great upheaval. The prophecies also speak of the coming together of all peoples. The Hopi have often said that the teachings they hold are not just for their own tribe, but for all of humanity. The elders believe that we are all related, that we come from the same source, and that the knowledge of the sacred ways belongs to everyone. As the time of great change approaches, people from all walks of life will be drawn to these teachings, seeking guidance on how to live in harmony with the earth and with each other. This coming together will not erase the diversity of cultures and traditions, but it will emphasize our shared responsibility to care for the planet and for future generations. At the heart of the Hopi prophecies is the idea of balance. The elders teach that everything in the universe exists in a state of dynamic equilibrium. When one part of the system is out of balance, the entire system suffers. This is true not only for the natural world, but also for human societies. The Hopi see the current state of the world as a reflection of deep imbalance, an imbalance between mind and spirit, between humanity and nature, between individuals and their communities. The time of purification is a time of rebalancing, where these imbalances will be corrected, sometimes through difficult and painful processes. Yet the Hopi also speak of a time beyond the purification, a time when the earth will be renewed and when humanity will have the opportunity to start again. This new world, the fifth world in Hopi tradition, is one where the mistakes of the past will not be repeated. It is a world where people live in accordance with natural law, where technology is used to enhance life rather than destroy it, and where communities are built on principles of cooperation, respect, and spiritual awareness. The Hopi elders have said that this future is possible, but it depends on the choices we make today. For those who are ready to heed the call, the elders offer practical advice. They emphasize the importance of returning to simple ways of living, of reducing our dependence on technologies and systems that harm the earth. They encourage us to grow our own food, to learn the skills of self-sufficiency, and to form small, close-knit communities that can support one another through times of hardship. The Hopi believe that these simple, grounded ways of living are not only more sustainable, but also more spiritually fulfilling. The elders also urge us to cultivate a deep spiritual practice. Whether through prayer, meditation, ceremony, or simply spending time in nature, the Hopi teach that it is essential to stay connected to the spiritual dimensions of life. They believe that in the times ahead, those who maintain a strong connection to the spiritual world will receive guidance and protection. This spiritual connection is not something that can be bought or achieved through external means. It must be nurtured through inner work, through humility, and through a sincere desire to live in harmony with all beings. As the final sign manifests and the time of purification intensifies, the Hopi remind us that the future is still in our hands. The prophecies have been given, but they are not meant to induce fear or resignation. Instead, they are a call to action, a reminder that we are powerful beings capable of great transformation. The elders often say that the prophecies are like a roadmap. They show us where we are headed if we continue on our current path, but they also show us that there is another way. The final sign has arrived, and the choice is clear. The time for change is now. In the closing words of the elders, they offer this message to all who will listen. We are all in this together. The earth is our mother, and she is calling out to us. It is time to remember who we are, to remember our place in the great circle of life. The future depends on the choices we make today. We are the ones we have been waiting for.